afternoon, Your Honor. Erin Bartels from Sato on behalf of Daryl Bowman, who appears in person today to my left.
Thank you. And the record should reflect the defendant is present here in the courtroom today. This is a date and time set for a resentencing pursuant to the change in the law based on case law and a new statutory provision regarding the sentencing of juvenile life sentences without parole. And also in receipt of numerous letters from family. I did have a chance to read all of those letters. Can you tell me your name just for the record?
My name is Roger Allen Cronk.
Thank you. What is it that you would like to say today, sir?
Just wanted to show you a few pictures. This is my mom and dad. We had 8 children in our family. Ronnie was a pretty awesome guy. He knew what he was going to do his whole life. You know, he was one of those kids that had all A's in schools, was in all the sports. Everybody loved him. He was coming home that day to give his girl a ring. And he was meeting with the guy that owns a pharmacy up there. The guy that owns the pharmacy up there was helping get him through college. He would have started a family. He would have had the business taken over. He'd be same age as Mr. Bowman. They were both the same age, with just days apart, I think, on birthdays. This was our family picture with my dad and 7 boys. I'm the baby. This was Ronald. This was just before he went into college. Looking at his girl, Mary. All these people just, their life just went to hell because of this man and George woman, you know. This was Ronnie with me. He was an awesome fellow. He would stand out in the yard. Him and my brother would hang on his arms and he'd twirl us around. This was Ron right before it happened. Ronald was beaten, cut, and stabbed so bad, my father couldn't identify him. My dad said, I don't know if that's my son or not. He was only identified because there were so many boys in our family. My mom put our names in our underwear. That's how it was handled. That's the only way he could identify him. And then he also saw a scar on his knee that he got during football. I don't know if I know the entire truth. 57 years ago, I was 9 years old, but I remember my dad coming home from that day, 2 priests on his arms. When the priest got out of the state police car, I knew something wasn't right. My dad was bawling. Never seen my dad cry, ever. Then. That was the first and the last time. You know, I heard my mom scream, and they made all of us boys go outside and sit outside. And we knew that that was Ronnie. That was dead. From what I understand, Mr. Bowman has never taken the responsibility of that. He was there. He said he wasn't there. His mom said he wasn't there. She testified in court saying that he was with her. Long time ago, I put this in God's hands. I said, you know what, Daryl Bowman, I forgive you, but I will never forget you. I can't forget it. You know, I mean, you can just imagine having to identify your child, but you can't identify your child because they're beaten so bad and cut so bad. I never forgot laying in the casket. They had to put so much makeup on his neck because his neck was cut so bad. And at 19 years old, you know what? You can pick up a rifle. I did at 17. I picked up a rifle and defended my country. So was it that different 57 years ago? I don't think so. I mean, people were in Vietnam at that time. Younger than 19. You knew what you were doing. But in 1987, he was 37 years old. He knew what the hell he was doing then. He helped organize a prison break. 2 guys, Daryl and one guy, just, they didn't do anything, of course, but one guy that helped get out, he had murdered a Michigan State trooper. That guy was all over the Midwest. He robbed 5 banks. And in Mississippi, he robbed the wrong bank and came up against the wrong sheriff. That was the end of him. But at 37 years old, Daryl should know what's going on. He should be held responsible for that. He should be responsible for the 5 banks that were robbed if he helped that person get out. From what I understand, he's the one that got the keys. They got up in the air conditioning ducts. All the taxi got out of there. But he should be responsible for that at 37 years old. Your Honor, you have the right to keep Daryl in until he meets his 60th year in prison. You also have the right to give him 5 more years after that for the escape from Michigan State Prison. All I ask you to do is do what your heart tells you, be professional, and do your best. That's all I want you to do. If Daryl gets out, it's by God's word, and I have no problem with it. This is the last time I'll speak about it, last time I'll think about it. After this, I'll just destroy everything and we'll be done with it. So, and that's it. Thank you for listening to me. Family appreciates it. I'm the only brother left. I promised my mom and dad I would never stop until it was time. And today is the day. So, amen. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. I'm not going to say a lot about the details of the crime here. I don't think there's a lot that needs to be said about the heinous nature of the crime itself, and really just the senseless and needless loss of life here that occurred for really no reason at all. And I don't think that needs any additional commentary. I think what's important here today, number one, for me, is to acknowledge all of the relatives that are here in the courtroom today. I think it's unfortunate that all of you are here today having to relive this because of a change in the law that now says that a sentence that you thought that you could all count on was wrong and shouldn't be imposed. And I thought it was particularly striking, Mr. Cronk, about your statement that you're here to carry through with the promise that you made to your parents about what you were going to do. Yet the state of Michigan isn't carrying through with its promise to you and to your family. And I think that's unfortunate. It's a change in the law that has really taken the discretion out of my hands as a judge in terms of what I can order. The statute speaks in terms of the court shall and the court must. And as a court of law, I am compelled to follow the law. I can't make it up, regardless of whether I agree with it personally or not. It's a change that determined that it's unconstitutional to sentence a juvenile to life without parole, that it's cruel and unusual. I think that's a change that doesn't take into account the fact that you all have been living a life of a sentence without parole. No one's ever going to let you out of the prison that you've all been in, regardless of any changes in the law. The way that perhaps Mr. Bowman may be someday released. It's a change that was decided by judges and legislators that never have to sit in the chair that I'm sitting in and look at all of you folks and listen to what you had to say and read what you have to say and see the true impact of this kind of a change in the law. That's something that they don't have to do. You make that decision in a different forum, and they don't have to look all of you in the eye the way that I do, and the way that the prosecutor had to do. But again, it's a change that's been made. It's a change that as a judge I'm bound to follow. And it's a change that doesn't leave me with much choice other than to impose the maximum possible sentence that I can impose under the restrictions that I'm now under. And that sentence is a sentence of 40 to 60 years. If I had the authority, Mr. Cronk, to impose additional time, believe me, I would do it. I don't have that authority. Again, the statute speaks in terms of the court must and the court shall. And so it is the sentence of the court, Mr. Bowman, that you serve 40 to 60 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections. You do have credit for 20,701 days served. To the extent that there are any fines or costs that remain that were imposed at the time of the original sentence, the court would preserve those. You do have the ability to seek an appeal of this sentence. The court's going to take a short recess. I do have another hearing at 2 o'clock, and I'm going to take a short break before I take that action.
Thank you, Ron.
All rise.